everyone, Tiniestofchibis here, and we're back with Genshin. I did a whole bunch of stuff, not on screen or on the game, but like in real life stuff.
What are you doing here all by yourself? Where did those other two go?
I presented them with a choice.
Like,
either they left or I drew my
disappointed
sword.
that there wasn't many trick-or-treaters. I mean, there
It
were like a
turned out to
good
be a
chunk
real
of
time
trick-or-treaters
saver,
early on,
actually.
but like
Perhaps I should start using it more often.
fucking
Did you manage to
druggies
track down
next
the treasure
door were
hoarders?
like out and about,
Everything
so
I
I
said was
didn't feel
true,
comfortable
right?
going outside. So it's like, ugh. You know?
That just about sums it up. It turns out that you really were distributing emergency provisions, but they were all purchased at your own expense.
Strange. Is that really the kind of person I was? I don't really have any such recollection. Even after all you've told me, I still don't remember anything. Why was I purchasing emergency provisions for
No,
everyone?
I could actually keep that
Why
open.
would I put myself in such a difficult situation?
I was doing the
I really don't understand.
Genshin event
But I cannot
before I
deny that when
reopened
I brandished my
this.
sword to scare those two away, I could sense that my body was somehow. This sword was once wielded by my father. I remember once when I was young, I wanted to sneak out with the blade and show it off to the kids next door. My father ended up catching me in the act and scolded me severely. What did he say? I can't seem to remember that either. It would seem that I forgot many important things when my vision was taken from me. So many memories gone. Forever. No matter how hard I try to remember, all I can remember now is my father telling me that this blade bore his life's creed. Before he passed away, he placed the sword in my hands and said to me, "With this sword, you should."
Hey, if you look carefully, there seems to be some words engraved on the hilt. Can you recognize the words?
No.
Virtue and justice? Somehow those two words seem to explain everything.
Sorry if I'm getting distracted. I'm
Taking
getting
on seemingly endless debts to make
a
others
webcomic.
happy. I guess that must have been my greatest ambition after all.
I was like,
But what use of
release
virtue
that
and
witch.
justice? I purchased the provisions for those in need. And look how things ended up. The Tenryo Commission seized my vision. And the very people I was so desperately trying to help refused to understand me. And the irony of all of it is, I somehow still felt sorry when threatening them with my blade. I'm incapable of being a good person, yet I'm equally unable to be bad. I don't know what to do with myself.
Yet another troubled soul. When we get the chance, let's speak to Toma about Kurosawa's debt. The Yashiro Commission would surely help cover his expenses. In any case, we must never let him sell off that sword.
Losing a vision is no trifle matter.
Yeah, seems like losing all ambition is a terrible experience. Fortunately for us, you don't have a vision. Let's go find the next poor soul.
Seems all the other knights already have their hands full.
Stuck on top of each other. Oh. Okay, now where to? Where do I go now? Ah, that's not what I wanted. Game, work with me. Okay. Oh, that reminds me. Do I have enough yet? I think I got tired. No, I'm too short if I can see that correctly. So either I need to find a chest or I need to do something. Now what?
The third person who had their vision taken is supposed to be a famous sword master around these parts.
Just
Paimon
looking
heard
around
that
for a
he's the
chest.
present-day
I like how
master
the
of
yellow
Meikyo
line is showing
Shisui
is
art.
still there.
Sounds pretty impressive. This is his dojo. Luckily, there's some people around. Let's go talk to them.
Nanako, don't worry. Sensei will be fine. Those thugs that challenged the dojo were strong, but he fought them all off in the end, didn't he?
Maybe, but I'm still worried about him. Things have gotten dangerous before in the past, but it's never shaken him. This time, though...
It's just because he's been possessed, that's all. Once the exorcism has taken place, he'll be right as rain in no time.
Hey there! Did something happen?
It's kind of neat to know that
Who
you
are
can
you?
have a freaking vision and not
Don't
be a
care whether you're
weirdo.
trespassers or just here to harass us while Sensei is impaired.
Or just
Get
differently
out of here
than the NPCs,
immediately.
but whatever.
Don't make me draw my blade, or you won't live to regret it.
No! You got it so wrong! We just came here to...
Where you hit it from disciples.
Yep. We've heard all about the mighty master of Meikyo Shisui art. It's the whole reason we came all this way, to seek him out and ask him to train us. But then we got here and overheard you talking about how he got possessed or something?
From the way you're dressed, it doesn't look like you're from around here. Please, accept my apologies. We've had so many people trying to cause us trouble recently that we're on high alert. You haven't arrived at the best of times, I'm afraid. Sensei got possessed recently, and he's still recovering. He's not able to take on any new disciples for the time being.
We can wait till we recover. It's not going back.
I see you are earnest in your pursuit. Okay, how about this? My fellow disciple Nanako and I will explain Sensei's situation to you in a little more detail. Then you can decide whether to stay or to leave. Sensei's name is Domon, a name I'm sure you've already heard. Though self-taught, he mastered the art of the sword to a high level. He then proceeded to defeat many other prominent sword masters, never losing a single fight. He once said that his goal was to become the best sword master in the world. And so, even while training us, he continued to hone his own art. His fervor truly inspired us, and we trained hard, determined to keep up with him. But then...
Not long ago, Sensei had his vision taken away. He hasn't been the same since. He says the strangest things over and over, and he refuses to let us train. Junya and I have discussed it, and we both think that he's been possessed by an evil spirit. So we've asked the shrine maidens from the Grand Narukami Shrine to perform an exorcism. But if I'm honest, I still have my doubts over whether he'll completely recover.
The Grand Narukami Shrine? What's that?
You haven't heard of it? It's the largest shrine on Narukami Island. The head shrine maiden is reputed to have very close ties with the almighty Shogun herself. Not that we'd have any means of involving the head shrine maiden, of course. But even one of the ordinary shrine maidens from the Grand Narukami Shrine would have clear power and authority to perform an exorcism. So don't worry, Nanako. Sensei is going to be just fine. The exorcism will take place this evening. You're both more than welcome to come and watch if you're interested.
So, losing your vision can cause possession? Guess we should come back this evening and see for ourselves.
Can I just do this?
Shh. So you decided to come. Just now, when she asked him who the people were, it looked like he was in great distress. All the while he kept calling those names. One of them was Anzai.
I'm just like,
He used to be
I
a fellow
don't
disciple
care.
of
I just
Sensei's.
want the
His
primo
senior, in
gems.
fact. But Sensei defeated him in a duel many years ago, and he has been a wanderer ever since. Sensei wouldn't stop calling his name. Thankfully, the shrine maidens managed to subdue him, so the exorcism can finally continue. The ritual has now begun. All we can do is patiently await the result. Here's hoping Sensei will be back to his normal self very soon. Please, excuse me for a moment while I fetch some water. If he wakes up, he is sure to be thirsty.
We won't let them get
Sorry.
away with it. Come on, let's go after them.
Look. There was a joke in the comic that I'm reading. And, like, it was, like, one of those ones where you're like, what the frick? And I was, you know, gonna make him do something.
What's the hurry?
But then I started choke, like, my saliva, like, gathered in the back of my throat. And, like,
Seems they aren't here. Should we keep going further up?
eek.
Is this definitely the right place? Let's look a little further up. Aha! Suspicious person sighted! That's gotta be him!
This is,
How did you catch up with me so quickly?
I don't know if you guys heard it, but, like, my mic got
Are you
unplugged.
sure you're Domon's
So I was shifting.
disciples? You move even quicker than he
And
does.
I just so happened to, like, you know,
Guess
shift
it's been a few
incorrectly.
years. Maybe his skills have improved again.
Excuse me? We're the ones asking the questions here. First off, who are you? And what are you doing sneaking around these parts? You seem like bad news, mister.
Bad news? I'll have you know I trained side by side with Domon back in the day, long before you ever showed up. I don't care to talk about that time anymore. But if you must know, I am Domon's senior.
His senior? Wait, that means you must be...
Anzai. Yes, that's me.
Why'd you run?
Because I don't wish to see Domon or anyone else associated with him ever again. When we were young, we trained under the same sword master, studying Make Yoshi Sui art together. I had begun training 5 years before him, and everyone looked up to me as a steady and dependable older disciple. Practitioners of Make Yoshi Sui art seek to achieve stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. So the majority of disciples are indifferent to rank and reward. I was no exception. But Domon was different. The first thing he did when he joined was go straight to our sensei and ask him, with a beaming smile on his face, how to become the best in the world. Sensei scolded him and told him that the art of the sword should not be used for such vain ends. Sensei said that coveting the title of the best swordmaster, barely days into his training, showed that he had a fickle mind, and that this would impede him from ever mastering the blade. I thought so too at the time, but Domon began making swift progress in his training, and even started catching up with me. Only then did I realize that it was Domon who had long since freed his mind from all agitation. He was consumed by his singular desire to become the best in the world. He sought nothing less than perfection in the art of the sword, and nothing could deter him from this goal, no matter what stood in his way.
Sure sounds like he meant business. So how come you don't want to ever see him again?
Because until he arrived, I was convinced that I would succeed our sensei as the master of Meikyo Shisui art. Of all the disciples, I was the most gifted. I had trained the longest. Everyone had high expectations from me. Domon's arrival changed everything. When we sparred, I lost not just the match, but my pride and my status too. I fled the dojo that day and never looked back. Later, I heard that he sparred with Sensei too. Sensei was advanced in years by then, and unfortunately that match used up every last ounce of energy in his body. After that, I wanted nothing further to do with him. Deep down though, I still respected his mastery of the blade, and his commitment to the art of the sword. So, when I heard rumors that he had lost his mind, my first reaction was to dismiss them as false. How could he, of all people, have lost his mind? His mind was the sharpest of them all. He had practiced Meikyo Shisui art to perfection. I decided to quietly come and see if it were true. Then, to my complete astonishment, I heard him call my name. I thought mine was a name he had long since forgotten. So you see, I came here not to cause him any harm. I just wanted to see for myself. Okay, you've heard my story. You should get back now. The exorcism is probably finishing.
Seems like we got it wrong this time. He wasn't here to mess up the exorcism at all. Still, Paimon's not sure we should bring him back with us. Let's go see how the exorcism's coming along.
I didn't know you were such a slacker.
Sorry. How long have I been waiting? Like, I'm sorry I'm keep getting distracted. I'm just at that point, like, right now, where I'm like, if I don't do what am I doing? Oh, I'm supposed to go back here. Where is the dude? Look, berries. There.
What? You're saying he isn't possessed? Does that mean he's just lost his mind? But how is that possible? No, I refuse to believe it. Something's clearly wrong.
Nanako, please. Try not to get agitated.
I am sorry. With what powers I have, I can find no sign of any malignant spirit having possessed Domon. But Spirits may take a myriad of forms in this world, many of which I cannot claim to have witnessed myself. Thus, I dare not rule out possession with complete certainty. And all is certainly not lost. For I
I hate it when
received
I'm
word
like
not long
messing
ago
around with
that
things
Lady
and things
Yai
just
is
started
taking
getting loud
interest
and I'm
in
like,
Sensei's case.
no, no, get loud.
Lady Yai? Is that the same Lady Yai that I think you mean?
The head shrine maiden of the Grand Narukami Shrine? That's wonderful news! Then Sensei will be sure to recover.
Correct. Lady Yai is most knowledgeable indeed, and has abundant experience in the exorcism of evil spirits and aversion of great calamities. I am unable to say for certain whether an evil spirit has possessed your sensei, but Lady Yai can give a conclusive verdict.
Excuse me, Miss Inagi, but I must ask, should we prepare a greeting gift for Lady Yai?
That won't be necessary. All that is required of you is your timely arrival at the Grand Narukami
I don't know if I'm
Shrine.
hungry or
Lady
thirsty.
Yai does not like to be kept waiting.
Maybe a bit
I
of
must
both.
leave now, but we will meet soon at the shrine. I wish Domon a full and speedy recovery.
Who'd have thought Lady Yai herself would have taken notice of our sensei's case?
Do you mean to say that Sensei isn't renowned enough to deserve Lady Yai's attention?
No, that's not what I meant at all. You misunderstand me. I just mean this is Lady Yai, the head shrine maiden. She has direct and close contact with the almighty Shogun herself. Anyway, you should join us too, tomorrow. Given that you've traveled all this way just to meet our sensei, we, the disciples of Meikyo-shi's sweet art, will do our best to help you.
I guess I'll join.
Sure! After all, everyone seems pretty excited about Lady Yai. We're curious to meet her too. Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to find out a thing or two about the Raiden children from her.
Alrighty, off we go to the thing. Oh, I haven't been in the shrine actually, I don't think. I'm aware of. I saw. Ah! Sorry. My friend was texting me about like doing the thing, but I'm like, I'm in story mode. I can't even do that if I want to.
Do you think that's Lady Yai? Oh, no wonder Junyo is so excited.
Like I wouldn't
She
mind.
has a really striking presence. Also, is it just Paimon? Or did she look right at us
I made
just
spaghetti,
now?
but like I was kind of not really that hungry.
It was probably nothing. It's not like she's ever seen us before.
Keep away. Keep away from me. I gave up the art of the sword. Please, let me go, I beg you.
As you can see, Lady Yai, Domon has persisted in this state for some time now. He appears to see those who have lost to him in duels past, gathered all around him to persecute him.
Lady Yai, it must be a possession, right? This is nothing like him at all. In the past, no matter what came his way, he would always face it with a confident smile.
I'm sorry. It is clear to me that your sensei is not possessed by any evil spirit.
But then does that mean he...
Yes. This is a change in the person himself. Unable to cope with the tremendous pressure he was under, he suffered a spiritual collapse. With his wits impaired, he finally descended into madness. As one who is thrown into the sea, though he fights back desperately against his predicament, it does nothing to prevent his descent into the depths. As for what has triggered this change, I believe it must be the loss of his vision. For to be stripped of one's vision is to be stripped of one's ambition.
Stripped of his ambition?
Oh, that's a timer.
But Lady Yi, even without his ambition, why should he suffer such a dramatic change? How does that explain his descent into madness?
Your school practices Meikyo Shisui art, does it not? Stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. What a fine notion that would be if any in this world could ever hope to achieve it. There was once one who claimed to be indifferent to rank and reward, and who fled enraged when defeated
Go
by
away.
his junior.
I need to send this to people.
And then there was an aged swordmaster who was aggrieved enough that he crossed blades with a disciple he himself had taught. Then, what
I
if the
really
one who
can't
crossed
skip.
blades with his own sensei and beloved fellow disciple, and defeated them both? Can one truly remain unagitated, of still mind in moments such as these?
Lady I'm not sure I understand.
The path of the sword master is filled with twists and turns. It is no small undertaking to pursue the position of the greatest sword master in the world. It requires one to take their sword firmly in both hands and cut down the hopes and dreams of others, even those of one's closest companions. Only a deep commitment to his ambition to become the best made it possible for him to rise above the pain of these encounters, to focus on the way ahead. When that ambition disappeared, he began to doubt himself. As he battled his growing anxiety, he slowly descended into the state you see him in now. Much like a certain fatally flawed friend of mine.
Poor Sensei. To think he's been suffering so greatly.
I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Father, Sensei, Ansai.
That's enough.
Huh? Isn't that Ansai? Where did he come from? Did he follow us the whole way here?
Ansai, why are there two of you? Is that you or a ghost? You're here for revenge, aren't you?
I need a
I
needle.
knew it would come. I never should have.
You're right to assume that my feelings towards you are far from kindly. But I didn't come here to settle a score. It's been so long now that I made peace with it years ago. You did nothing wrong that day. I couldn't face the humiliation. That's why I ran. I don't think most of the people you beat along the way would hold it against you. On the contrary, when you cut our ambitions short, we entrusted them to you, in the hopes that they might carry you further. Now I know that we can't place our hopes in you any longer, since you've been stripped of your ambitions too. But that is no reason to strip them of theirs. Follow the way of the sword all the way to the highest peak. You taught them that, didn't you?
But what if one day, the same thing happens to them? I put everything I had into trying to become the best. But what if it was all a huge mistake right from the start? If there's a chance they'll end up like me one day, I'd rather they stay where they are now than go any further down this path.
Have you asked them what they think?
Sensei, after you rescued me from the hands of the pirates, I told myself I would follow in your footsteps for the rest of my days. I can't know whether I will suffer in my future as you do now. All I know is that here and now, in the present, I wish to continue. I want to keep going until the day that I can stand before everyone with my head held high and announce that I, like my sensei Domon before me, am a master of Meikyo Shisui art.
Nanako's far from the only one. Actually, all of us think that way.
Goodness. Well,
You see? You can place the ambition you once had in their hands. Being stripped of your ambition is something that's never happened to me, so I can't claim to understand it. But I do know what it feels like to have your ambitions crushed. That's what happened on the day that you so effortlessly defeated me. So, just as I once placed my ambitions onto you, It is time for you to release yours into their custody. You are not in the same position that I was. When I left, I had nothing to my name. But you have a great number of worthy disciples.
I understand. I'm sorry to have made you worry for me, and for the state of Miyakyo Shisui art. I no longer have the resolve to become the best in the world. The emptiness and suffering inside of me will not abate, so I cannot hope to still my mind and be free of agitation. But as your sensei, I shall commit to imparting unto you everything I have learned in my life so far. This is my promise. And I humbly ask Anzai, my senior, to hold me to my word.
You can count on me. I'd be checking in on you occasionally anyway, just to make sure you hadn't lost your mind again. But I am now used to the life of a wanderer. I do not belong in the dojo anymore, so I will simply stop by once in a while to make sure you aren't cutting any corners with them. Well, don't just stand there staring at me. Say thank you to Lady Yai and then get yourself back home.
Can I please have some time? Because I need to end the episode.
His ambition was taken away, his disciples can take it over on his behalf. Guess that sort of solves this one, huh?
Traveler, a moment, please. Lady Yai has some words for you.
So, my intuition was correct. The wind that blows from afar carries fresh life to these shores. For us to meet now is premature. Nevertheless, you set foot on these islands at precisely the right moment. I have high hopes for you.
I don't know why. I thought, like,
Don't disappoint me.
I was scared and confused. Because, like, I thought the top of the shrine was, like, a health bar. And I was like, wait, I don't remember having to fight anyone right here. I was gonna be like, what the heck?
Ooh, Lady
I was
Yai
like,
seems
I
to
don't know
have
why
taken
it
a
spooked the
real
bejeebers
interest
out of
in
me, but I
you.
was like, ah!
She seems super
You know?
mysterious. I'm so curious what she really meant by all that. We can come back to it another time. For now, we should go report back to Miss Kamisato.
Alright. Now that that's done, I'm going to end this episode here, and when we come back, I will be in the other place. So, for now, Tiniestofchibis is signing out.